Welcome to today's Explainer. I am so pumped you're here because we are going to unpack a framework today that's going to completely shatter how you look at work, time, and income. Look, if you've ever felt like you're just endlessly running on a treadmill, working way harder but somehow not getting any richer, trust me, you are not alone. Actually, studies show most people hit their peak earning potential right around age 40, simply because, well, they just run out of hours to trade. The source material we're diving into today suggests a massive paradigm shift. It's called the wealth perspective, and our primary goal right now is to help you start spotting those high-level opportunities that exist way outside the boundaries of a traditional clock.
So is your money problem actually a thinking problem? I want you to really let that sink in for a second. The whole premise we're exploring today is that your struggle to build wealth might not actually be because you lack effort or skills or discipline. Not at all. It suggests you might just literally be looking in the wrong place. You see, the way you think about making money acts as a filter, and that filter determines the exact opportunities you're even capable of seeing as you go about your daily life.
Okay, let's dive into this with Section 1, the money blind spot. Think about it. From a really young age, most of us are taught the traditional employee mindset, right? You put in the hours, you get a paycheck. Boom. It's a straight-up linear one-to-one relationship. But if we contrast that with the wealth mindset, the focus completely shifts away from tracking hours. Instead, it moves toward acquiring assets, building systems, and finding leverage. The core idea here is that if you're absolutely convinced the only way to earn a living is that linear equation, get a job, clock in, get paid, then your entire worldview just becomes totally locked around employment.
And honestly, that leads us to a pretty harsh but super illuminating reality. That traditional paycheck worldview, it literally creates blinders. It's a massive blind spot keeping you broke. It keeps you stuck because it restricts your brain from processing any information that doesn't neatly fit into that hours for dollars box. Think about it. If you're constantly asking yourself, how can I work more hours? Or how can I squeeze out a slightly higher hourly rate? Your brain is just too busy answering those specific questions to even notice the other much bigger mechanisms of wealth generation happening all around you. It's not that you can't be wealthy, it's that you literally cannot see the path because your focus is locked on the clock.
Because of those blinders, you naturally overlook some absolutely massive opportunities. We're talking about things like investments, building scalable businesses, creating standalone assets, and developing automated systems. The source material makes a really profound point here. These wealth-building opportunities, they're already all around you. Seriously, hiding in plain sight. But a time-bound, clock-punching mindset naturally ignores them because, well, they don't look like a traditional job. So how exactly do we rip those blinders off?
That brings us to Section 2, the opportunity chain. And this brilliantly illustrates how the transformation actually happens. It's a very specific sequence, and notice it does not start with work harder. Step 1 is to completely change your focus. When you finally shift your focus away from just trading time, Step 2 naturally kicks in. You begin to change the opportunities you actually see. Suddenly, you notice a gap in the market, a chance to build a system or a smart investment. Once you can see them, Step 3, you can actually pursue them. And ultimately, Step 4, that completely changes what you obtain. Your income, your freedom, it all fundamentally changes. But remember, it only happens because the opportunities you were pursuing changed first.
Now, here's a truth we all kind of know but rarely internalize. Wealthy people do not have more hours in the day. There's no secret 25th hour. They operate within the exact same time constraints that you and I do. The difference is entirely in their focus. Instead of asking how they can physically squeeze more work out of themselves, they ask how to make their money, their businesses, their systems, and their assets work harder for them. They fundamentally separate their earning potential from their physical time. And that brings us to the most actionable part of our explainer today. Moving right along to Section 3, finding your leverage.
First things first, we absolutely must define what it is we're actually looking for here, and that word is leverage. In the context of building wealth, leverage simply means getting a bigger, outsized result without simply adding more hours of your own labor. This is the exact metric the wealthy use. It is literally the only way to escape the trap of trading time for money. If an opportunity doesn't have leverage built into it, it's really just another job disguised as an opportunity. So let's apply this. Application 1. You need to explicitly challenge your definition of making money. Basically, stop looking for jobs and start looking for opportunities. If your current definition is that strict equation we talked about earlier, work equals hours equals a paycheck, you have got to actively expand it. You have to train your brain to recognize that income can be generated in fundamentally different ways that don't ever involve a time card.
To really challenge that definition, start looking for income that is completely disconnected from your physical presence. We're talking about income-producing assets, like real estate or index funds, or intellectual property, like writing a book or licensing a patent. Digital products are a huge one. You create it once, and you can sell it infinitely. And systems, building a business operation that keeps humming whether you're sitting in the office or chilling on a beach. These are real-world examples of making money without needing to be physically present for every single dollar that hits your bank account.
Now, what's really interesting about this next one is how it attacks a deeply ingrained societal belief. Application 2. Stop measuring opportunity by how much work it requires. You know the whole hard work meritocracy idea, right? We are totally conditioned to think that the harder something is, or the more hours it drains from us, the more valuable it absolutely must be. But from the wealth perspective, more work does not automatically equal more freedom. In fact, a lot of times, more work just traps you even further.
So before you commit your precious time and energy to literally any new endeavor, you need to stop and ask yourself this absolutely crucial question. Will this produce value without requiring my time tomorrow? If you're building a true asset, the answer should be yes. You put the hard work in today to build a system or create the product so that tomorrow it yields a return without you needing to start all over from scratch. But if you're just trading hours, the answer is no. Tomorrow, you have to wake up, show up, and do the whole thing all over again just to get paid.
This leads us perfectly into application 3. Train yourself to look for leverage. This isn't just a one-time shift. It's an active, ongoing process. True financial freedom is never an accident. It requires you to intentionally and actively scan your environment for leverage at all times. You have to look for those precise situations where one single action you take today creates a repeated, compounding result long into the future.
To help do that, the source material gives us this incredible forcing question. How can I get a bigger result without simply adding more hours? I strongly encourage you to write this down. Seriously, make it the wallpaper on your phone. This is the ultimate catalyst. When you face a bottleneck in your income, your default reaction might be, ugh, I just need to work late. Stop right there. Ask this question instead. It literally forces your brain to bypass that traditional employee mindset and search for an asset-based, highly leveraged solution.
All right, bringing it all together with section 4, the new bottom line.
So the crucial point really all boils down to this. Change what you see, change what you earn. They are completely inextricably linked. You simply cannot out-earn your own perspective. Changing your foundational beliefs about what money actually is and how money is generated is the absolute non-negotiable prerequisite to making more of it. You essentially have to fix your financial vision before you can ever hope to fill your bank account. The source material leaves us with this powerful bottom line, and it is so good. You don't necessarily need to work harder to increase your income. You need to become better at seeing and pursuing better opportunities. As we've learned today, before you can see those opportunities, you have to completely change the way you think about how money is made. It's about working smarter, yes, for sure, but more importantly, it's about seeing clearer. As we wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with one final thought to really ponder. What opportunities are you failing to see today because of how you think about work? Take a hard, honest look at your blind spots. The exact leverage you're looking for might literally be sitting right in front of you, just waiting for you to adjust your perspective. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I'll catch you next time.